Hey, I'm Father Roderick, and this video is going to be a bit personal. I'm going to share with you why Grogu's impossible choice at the end of Chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett hits home for me, and why the scene with the frogs is so important to understand why. In Chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker presents little Grogu with an impossible choice. He has to choose between his attachment to Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, symbolized by the Beskar chainmail suit that Mando brought as a gift, or the detachment of becoming part of the new Jedi Order that Luke apparently wants to start, symbolized by the small lightsaber that once belonged to Master Yoda. Like a lot of you, I was perturbed by this choice at the end of the episode. First of all, most of us would have wanted both. Why can't I be a Jedi and care for my bond with this substitute Mandalorian father who adopted me as a foundling? But Luke keeps insisting that Grogu has to choose one. This moment hit home for me. When I started seminary to become a priest, I felt in many ways like little Grogu, discovering a whole new world and learning the ways of a consecrated life. But I also had to learn to detach myself from a lot of other things. Since Catholic priests live a celibate life, it would mean that I would never have a family. And in the first years of seminary, I lived a life divided between the chapel and the university. I completely missed out on a lot of things I loved, like video games or movies. In prayer, I was often distracted, like Grogu, and I experienced how hard it was to fully dedicate my attention and my time to God. And after 10 years of study and seminary, I didn't feel I made much progress. Nevertheless, on the day of my ordination, I did say, here I am, and I made the definitive choice to dedicate my life to serving the church, community, and God. This is what my heart told me to do, and I never looked back. However, I did discover something that may comfort Grogu and us, no matter what choice he will end up making. When you make important choices out of love, you will receive much more in return than what you end up losing. I think that if Grogu chooses to stay with Luke and picks up the lightsaber, he will still do it to be able to protect people like the Mandalorian, just as he instinctively did in the past. Detachment of that one distracting frog can open up Grogu to the Force, that in turn can affect all the frogs in the area. That is a very important scene. And if Grogu chooses to go back to the Mandalorian, why would that make him less open to the Force? If someone decides to marry and start a family, it wouldn't close the door to God either, right? It is a decision that expresses the Force in a different way, but one way is not superior to the other. Luke Skywalker himself chose to interrupt his training with Yoda to help his friends. Did that make him a lesser Jedi in the end? Luke's real tragedy is not his attachment to his friends, but his detachment from the Force. In The Last Jedi, Luke discovers that without the Force, detachment leads to bitterness and loneliness. Just like celibacy for priests can turn into selfishness and bitterness if that choice for that life is not made out of love and isn't filled with love and friendship on a day-to-day basis. So what do you think? Is Luke right to present Grogu with his impossible choice? What would you do in this situation? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see how much this chapter affected me, check out the compilation of my many emotional reactions to this chapter in this video here.